This is so bad. Stop doing that.
Breathe off the regulator.
He needs to keep breathing off it. Hi divers, and welcome back to another scuba diving reaction video. Before we jump into this, let's just talk about the whole elephant in the room right now. Yes, this is still Tom. Yes, this is a different look. So if you're wondering right now, where'd the hair go?
Where'd your hair go? I miss your hair so.
Well, I donated it to charity. So anyone who's new to the channel, I used to look like this. And I chopped off all my hair and gave it to Little Princess Trust. They're an awesome charity that makes real hair wigs for kids who have cancer, so that they can have a bit more normality back to their lives. So yeah, that's where the hair's gone. This was the goal all along, by the way, when growing my hair out. Having long hair is something that's actually pretty much new to me. I've always had quite short hair for my whole life, so it's a nice little change of pace. So if you like this haircut like this, let me know. If you miss the long hair, also let me know down in the comments. Also, I just want to say a big thank you to anyone who did support the fundraiser. We did hit the target, which is amazing. I'm so happy that we did that. So that's just awesome. Anyway, back to the scuba diving now, guys. So today we're going to be reacting to GoPro Cave Divers Relive Scary Incident. And yes, this is an actual GoPro video on the GoPro YouTube account. So I don't know if it's going to be just some radical marketing and it's just going to be a big misdirect and clickbait, or we might get something very interesting and something kind of crazy to watch. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I don't know anything about this, so it's going to be interesting regardless of what's going to happen. As always with these kind of accident type videos, it's not to make fun of any divers involved in any accidents. It's to use these videos as case studies so we can learn from them to have safer and happier dives ourselves. And obviously, as a scuba dive instructor myself, I'm going to give you any tips and tricks along the way and give you a deep analysis at the end of the video. With that all said, let's jump into it. Let's go press play. So searching, yep, volume's on, yep. Searching for Maya underwater.
I'm Gina Edgerton.
My name is Brian Wiederspan. My primary dive partner is my wife.
This looks like cenotes to me.
Who's also a part-time dive instructor as well.
Okay, so
I've been
experienced.
scuba diving for more than 25 years.
Part-time underwater
Very
explorer.
experienced.
Cave diving for more than 9 years.
Primarily searching for shipwrecks.
I'm here to help with the underwater filming of this project.
Cool. Wow, look how
On
beautiful
one
that
of our
is.
dives, we surfaced into actually a fairly large air dome.
Can I just say, it is absolutely stunning, the cenotes. If this is cenotes, it's like one of those places you should definitely give a go. Even if you're not going to proper cave systems, even the caverns are just beautiful. It's top tier diving. Yeah, just go and watch that back, it's so beautiful.
On one of our dives, we surfaced into actually a fairly large air dome.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to make a quick prediction here and see if I'm going to be right or wrong. The fact they're calling it an air dome is always misleading because these kind of gas spaces, I think of them as like gas domes or gas pockets, because usually it's not air in there, there's usually not enough oxygen in there to breathe, so it can be quite tricky if you do try and accidentally breathe in these areas. Might be completely wrong here, might be a misdirect, but I'm just going to call it, if they do try and breathe as gas, they could have issues.
And these air domes can be absolutely beautiful in there, but they are most likely going to be oxygen deficient.
Yeah,
As I
as I
was
said.
Ascending, I was pulling on the inflator, trying to inflate, and it came off in my hand.
Oh, so it broke. So that's either going to be that her LPI doesn't inflate anymore, or it might be that it actually has punctured the BCD itself or the bladder, because it looks like on side mount because they're in a cave system. So it might actually not be able to work as a buoyancy control device anymore, so that it can affect the buoyancy and make this stuff very, very difficult. As we saw then with the stalagmite sticking up, it could be jagged edges, could be hard to actually navigate without buoyancy device working properly. So that could be a big issue on a cave dive.
I was struggling staying on the surface. I couldn't get inflated and started kicking quite hard.
So it does sound like it's a puncture because she's struggling to keep it inflated. That's why the gas just keeps getting let out. Because if it was just the inflator stopped working, you could orally inflate still.
With that, I hardly remember anything.
Scary.
Yeah, this air is not good.
They're talking clearly. No regulator in. Oh no, they're going to breathe the gas.
Put your regulator in.
This could have a lot of different gases in it, by the way. It's not just like low on oxygen. It could have other stuff in there which could be really bad for you. Oh god, she's got a mask off as well. Yeah, get that regulator back in her mouth.
Breathe out the rig, Tina.
The way they're talking so clearly, they clearly don't have regulators in their own mouths as well. You can talk with a regulator in your mouth, but it's a bit muffled. So that's bad. They all have regulators out of their mouths at a time here. This is not good. You should always keep your regulator in your mouth when you're in one of these gas pockets. Not good. You're just still talking. Needs to keep that regulator in the mouth. I would say that's actually kind of the smart move, by the way, to actually put your hand on the rock there to steady yourself if the buoyancy device isn't working. You could also use the other divers to steady you. They could keep themselves fully inflated and use them as buoyancy devices as well to keep you upright and not sinking right now. Keep that in her mouth. She shouldn't be breathing that gas.
You need to breathe off this regulator.
Yeah. This is so bad. Stop doing that.
Breathe off the regulator.
She needs to keep breathing off it. It's actually really worrying the fact that she's not got a mask on, because even if she's breathing off the regulator, she could be subconsciously breathing through her nose right now. So she'd still be taking in this contaminated gas, which is not good. She's gonna get lightheaded soon. She's breathing really erratically too, you can hear how she's breathing.
I'm sorry, guys.
Bless her, apologising.
Apologize. Please.
What we discovered was her inflator had come loose.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did she lose that wing was filling up with water.
Ah, so it's definitely punctured then if it's taking on water. So it's almost like a weight, then it's going to pull it down slightly, so it's going to be even harder.
It really just does go to show that if you let things snowball, even the best diver can get into a bad situation.
That's a very good point.
It was a really, really intense moment for me.
She's still got a
Probably
mask
the most
off.
intense moment with diving.
He's got his mask out, his regulator out as well. Jesus. No, that's not the end of the video. No. Well, thank you for that, GoPro. I just got blue balls by you. I want to see them get out of the cave and how they're going to have to negotiate that with a broken BCD with the inflator hose broken. I want to see how that went down. Ugh. Wow, that really left me wanting more and I didn't get more. That's so frustrating. If there's a part 2 to this, let me know, someone, please. Very interesting. I love that last comment, by the way, at the end of the video, saying that even a good diver, even a very experienced diver can have a problem, because it's so true. And I find with some divers, when they get to a level of experience or get to a certain level of competency, they do get a little bit overconfident and they just don't think, oh, problems, I'm beyond that now, I can't have these issues. And they're the ones that when they do have an issue, they're not knowing how to do it. One of the best ways you can actually dive is expecting to have an issue, and then you see it's a plus if you don't have an issue. If that makes sense to anyone. So this is where you always should be doing skills. You should be practicing clearing your mask. You should be practicing what do I do if I'm out of air? How do I deliver air source to someone? All these kind of basic things you did in the open water course, or even if further on in advanced and rescue course. Go back to those skills, practice them on regular dives. It just means if you do ever have to have a situation you have to deal with, you're going to be a lot more comfortable dealing with it and not going to freak out. I will say this is one of those situations where it doesn't typically happen like this, the whole inflator hose breaking. And yeah, I was very curious to know how that would go down, but that is absolutely wild. Just to kind of reassert the point, they went to a gas pocket. Don't like calling it an air pocket because it is not a gas mix typically of air. If anyone doesn't know, air is made up of 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen and 1% inert gas, which we typically as divers round up into the nitrogen part to 79% nitrogen. That gas mix there could be anything, could be all weird gases, could be hypoxic, which means it's just not enough oxygen to typically breathe from, so it's going to be bad. It could be methane in there and all sorts of other gases, which just are not going to help us. It could cause us to get lightheaded, could cause us to feel a bit delirious. So you do not want to breathe this gas in, even if it is places that look really cool and whatnot. Keep regulator in your mouth. I do know this, by the way, from personal experience. I'm going to name and shame myself right now. So I went wreck diving in Baja, California, sir, with a friend, and she'll show me around this wreck, and she points out this really cool thing that there's actually an air pocket in this wreck. And I was like, that's wild. And I took her again later, I was like, whoa, this is so cool to say that to her. And immediately she was like, put that regulator back in your mouth right now. And I didn't realise, we don't know what gas blend was in there. It could be something hypoxic, it could be something even more serious and dangerous. Thankfully, I only made one sentence with my regulator out of my mouth, but the rest of the time I had the regulator back in, so nothing was too serious. But it's something you don't really think about. So I even get how they made the same mistake here these divers did. They were in a situation where, oh, this is really uncanny and weird, and just common sense sometimes slips out the window, and you make a very simple mistake which could snowball there. If they all got feeling a bit woozy off this gas, they could have a really bad situation. One thing you should know, by the way, if you're just a recreational diver who's never done cave diving, there's a higher level of difficulty to it. That's because a cave system, once you go into it, you have to go back out of it the same way you came, typically. Whereas if you're on an open water dive, you can end the dive whenever you want. If you feel like it's not going too good, you can just end the dive and go straight up. Always a way to get out of a dive straight away on a standard recreational dive. Caves, you can't just end the dive whenever you want. You have to go back the way you came. So them having an issue further into this cave system means they still have to get out of there, which is why I really want to see how this ended, because it could be interesting seeing how they negotiated it, if there's any extra things they had to keep in mind here. I think she said she has problems with the actual regulators breathing off, so maybe they had to share air. So one of the divers would have to get their long hose out, pass that to them, so they have to share air off one of his tanks. And that way then they'd have to kind of go out the cave together, which could be a bit hard if the cave system is very cramped. Even though that cave did look very spacious, you still can feel quite claustrophobic in caves with the limited space you do have there. Again, it's not like the open ocean, you have less room to maneuver and negotiate, so you definitely need to be a more skilled diver for cave systems. But yeah, I think that covers the main things for this video. If you think I did miss anything else out though, please leave a comment down below and share your thoughts. And if you like and enjoyed the video, please give me a like. It helps me out a ton, but help other divers find this video too. And if you want to see more from myself, Narked Tom, feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon to get notified when I post my next video. Anyway divers, I hope you have awesome and safe dives, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye!